Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and the video that everyone has always been asking about, the tier list update for October of 2024. This includes the antagonist meta, part 1 and 2, technically, of the 3rd anniversary with the new Milim, the new guy. We have 20 different skill fusions to go through, which I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'm just going to put them on. A lot of them, well, most of them, except for Maid Rimuru and Grim Rimuru, were already existing on here, so I have to find them and replace them, depending on how good I think their skill fusion is. And then we have the 6 EX skill fusions, which are brand new ranking. And then we've got the 4 new premium battle units. We've got Cliché free to play, and then we have 3 protectors, one of which is Isis, who's technically I haven't done the showcase for, but just based on her kit, I know where she's going to sit, so we don't have to really wait for that showcase to come out. But let's get the easy one out of the way, and that is the free-to-play Cliché. Cliché, I think, is fine. She doesn't blow me away. She's not super great. She's just kind of there. She's got a generic orb change, but then her alt swap is locked to light characters, which she's not even a light character, so I'm not super big on that. I'm going to put her in okay. One, because oranges are still not a super huge commodity in the game. The fact that she is an orange convert is good, but her alt swap is just weird. So I don't think she deserves anything higher than just okay to begin with. Next up are the protectors. So I already said that we knew where Isis was going to be, and yeah, she's just down here. She's just not good. Yeah, she changes the whole color to oranges. Congratulations, an 80% chance to pierce. Like, she's not doing anything super incredibly amazing for you. So she's, get her leveled up for her missions, and then you'll never use her again. Congratulations. But now we move on to the actual premium protectors, Emils and Guy, and I think they're both very good. Emils being the first protector that gives us rainbow orbs does mean that he can cycle a lot better. He's giving pierce rate to everybody, and not just magic allies, and he's giving you 30 skill points passively. Like, this is all very powerful things. So I think he's very good, and I think his existence now drops Wielder of Magic Milim down, because he is essentially just a power crept version of her. She's doing oranges. She's doing not all guaranteed oranges, though. She's doing a 3 and 3. So if you get 4 greens or 4 blues, Milim is not going to change all those. Giving Pierce only for magic allies. 40 skill points when you use her instead of passively. He came out in the exact same time slot 1 year later, and he does everything she does, but better. So Milim gets kicked out of the S tier. And then Guy, I think, is in S tier, but depending on the future of the game and what comes out, I could see him being moved up to the godly tier because of his Lord's Ambition ability to make you immune to all debuffs, which so bind, poison, frostbite, burn, any kind of nerfing to your skills. He can get around that. It's just that you need to be running a green-focused team in a green-focused stage. His element resistance down is okay. It's not super great, but it's not terrible either. He's giving you 30 skill points. Excellent. So I'm going to put him in S tier right now, with the caveat that he could climb up depending on what other kind of debuffs and how many debuffs the rest of the game wants to put on you with future content. He's going to be more useful because green orbs are just more heavily favored than oranges overall. Emils being one of the few orange protectors just give him value because there's not a lot of them. So he's good. It's just that the game is probably going to go back into its holding state of, we'll give you an orange meta in about 7 months from now. So have fun. So I don't think he's going to climb up into SS godly tier, strictly because you can't really use him a lot of places now. Alright, look at this list. Look at these characters that I have to go back through and re-rank. So I'm going to make a cut, and I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to really talk about them. Well, I probably will. I'll talk about some of them. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about any of the skill fusions and what they do and why they have changed or not changed. I've already done a video covering all 20 of these skill fusions. And also, I want to put the caveat that in December, they told us that all units can be upgraded to EX or higher to the Unbound status. And so when December comes around, this list is fucked. So let's just enjoy it while it lasts before I have to redo this all. But starting off, Dark 1.0 Rimuru did not change his rank wherever he is. I think he's up here somewhere. Wind Lumi, she is in the skill point units and also up in A tier. She did not change. She's still very good. Fire Milim did not change. Her orb change got less limited, but more limited at the same time. Fire Guy, his skill fusion now moves him up into B tier because he's giving now a lot of support to fire teams if you need him specifically for that. Space Milim, she's up here with her skill fusion. Her rank has not changed. Space Leon did move up into the B tier as well because now he's giving a 30% AoE support. That's good, and it took away his stupid instant damage. Dark Anniversary Milim has not changed. She's still really good. Dark Rimuru, first anniversary Rimuru, did not change. She's still gimmicky. Light Milim has not changed. Her convert just now hits extra, but that's about it. And then Light Lumi down here did not change. Still situational. Yeah, she's now the strongest light buff. It's still 80 points. It's still attached to the gimmick skill. So those are the existing skill fusions taken care of. Now, for the new skill fusions, we're going to look at Groom Rimuru. Where did he exist on the tier list? He existed in the C tier. So he's giving extra pierce power down, pierce resistance down for extra turns and extra green damage, and his orb change is a bit wonky now. I think he's still situational at best. He's not making enough waves to really impact any other green teams where I want to put him or would think about putting him. He's still good for the Light 2.0 team, and I don't think you're going to use him that much outside of it. Maid Rimuru existed down in the D tier. He got his 2 skill fusions, and it really, really kills me to do this, but he's going up into A tier, and this goes against my personal bias against him. It's long been known that I despise this unit on a personal level, but extra defense, extra guard power, extra ult resistance down means that on a defensively focused team, he is really good. But we don't have that many defense-focused teams, so he's decent, but he's limited, and he's gotten the most improvement out of any skill fusion I've ever seen in this game thus far. So, congratulations. I still hate you, but I cannot deny that you are now pretty good for what you're meant to do. Okay, EX skill fusions. Not a thing until this meta. And they're kind of... they're okay. So, Warrior's Mind Lumi gets upgraded into B tier. It cut her cost down of her gimmick to 30 instead of 70. It's still got that. It gives blue gauges 50% instead of 10%. That is worth it. It's more usable, and it gives you a higher buff while still maintaining the spirit of it. Guy, like, he's not going to change. He's still really good, but I'm on the fence of whether or not his skill fusion is better or worse. Getting rid of the 10% gauge increase, that will help you get like a turn 2 double protector, and giving him 10% crit resistance down when teams already do more than enough damage. Like, I don't know if that's really worth a trade-off of -5 points. So he's going to stay there. I don't think he got any worse. I don't think he got any better. Summer Milim being a totally damaged focused character. Where is Summer Milim? She's up here and really good. I'm gonna move her down into B tier solely because that she's just damage. She's a DPS. All the other primary DPS focused characters are in here somewhere that don't bring a lot to the rest of the team. She now gives dark attack to everybody, 25%, like whoop-de-doo. Yeah, she's good for Valor Cup. She's good for AoE damage and not really good for supporting anyone else, unlike these other units up here. So, unfortunately, Summer Milim has dropped. Fantasy Milim should be somewhere down here. Yeah, she got better. She's still not being used that much. Summer Lumi, the same. She did get better, still probably not going to get used very much. And Fount of Wisdom Rimuru is still good. He's just a little bit better with his scale fusion that makes his orb change unrestricted. So now it could be 2 oranges, it could be 2 greens, it could be 1 and 1. He's still really good. So that takes care of the skill fusions, and now we can talk about the actual premium summonable units. Alright, starting with the oldest of the 4, Shinsha, light buff, pierce resistance down, full orb change with their antagonist orbs to oranges. She, I think, can be helpful. Specific element alt buff, pierce resistance down means you need to be piercing first. The orb change locked to one specific force means that she can't be generically good for everybody. That would put her like up into this tier, but she can be helpful for specifically light, dark, orange teams. Well, light and dark mostly, and pierce focused. So she's not generic enough. Like if it was 100% alt buff to everybody, she'd probably be up here somewhere, but she's not. So she's going to be in B tier for can be helpful. I could see her maybe being argued moving up into A tier for decent but limited. You know what? We'll put her up there for now, and we'll see how I like her in the next couple months. We'll promote her up to A tier. There we go. On the fly change. Next is Isis. Awakened Isis, I think, is a fantastic support option for pretty much any team, if not like all teams. She's got the Drago effect, which hits everybody, which increases all buffs placed on an ally by 20%. And then she's got Pierce Power, which if you're piercing, then great. And then her second skill, 120% alt resistance down in 5 turns, within 5 turns. And then the magic resistance down. Magic resistance, obviously, you have to be a magic character to really take advantage of that. And her 120 down, it has a 5-turn cap. So I want to put her up in Godly, but I'm going to put her on Great for most teams, because after turn 5, you don't get that 120 anymore, and that is a gigantic chunk of damage that you're just going to not have. So if that 120 was unrestricted, she'd be tippity top tier, man. And I still think I'm going to hear some people argue about her being up here, because it turns a lot of stacking teams into burst teams, and I do recognize that power that she has, because you can, with this 120 down Drago effect, you're increasing the percentage of buffs. Like, you can turn an 8-turn team into a 5-turn team. Like, I don't, unless the stage is specifically built against nuking on turn 8, which some of them are. You can do that. So I could see arguments for her being bumped up into the Godly tier. For now, we're going to put her in SS with the caveat that we might move her in the future depending on what content looks like. So she's going to ride the line between SS and Triple S, but I'm going to have to see what the future holds for her before I fully promote her up to the tippity top of the list. Kyokyo, Mirror Benimaru. I think he's solid. Magic attack 40%, 80% weakness strike can be good, and then like the vitalization skill can be useful for teams that are they're not so great at getting alts. Like, he does have value, and his magic buff and his alt weakness strike buff are fairly generic, right? But his weakness strike is also locked into 5 turns, and weakness strike is 80% weakness strike is like half as powerful as what Isis is doing, if not even less than that. The magic buff does go well with the Isis magic resistance down, so you have to both of these characters, in order to take advantage of that, you need to be running a magic team. Not a big deal. They're both unbound characters, so they give extra weakness strike to antagonist if they nuke, but it's 1 force antagonist. Congratulations. I think he's really good. I don't think he's as impactful as Isis is on most other magic focused teams, just purely because Isis's turn 5 buff is much stronger, and the Drago buff is much stronger than him giving the vitalization and extra damage on orange orbs, which you're probably not going to use after this month. So SS tier, verging on Triple S, And then Benimaru, I think a solid S tier, really good character. And that brings us to Octagram Demon Lord Milim, whose first skill is 0 cost and gives her guaranteed pierce and guaranteed synergy, and converts all Octagram Demon Lord orbs to rainbow twice in a fight. So our first unit to give a multi-use of rainbow orbs, but it's locked to one team. Her first skill, while it costs nothing, it's just pierce rate and just synergy rate. It doesn't have any inherent other buffs to it, like powers, like synergy power or pierce power. And she's a nuker. She's a single target nuker. She's not directly supporting other teams' damage unless you want to count rainbow orbs as being part of that. And it's only for one specific team. So I think she's decent, but limited, because you can use her as just a free 2 turns of orb change into rainbows if you're building an Octagram team. But if you're not, she's not that great, and she's not bringing any damage potential to other teams because her first skill is selfish. So you can get a lot of use out of the rainbows, or you can get no use out of her at all. So, like, I'm going to put her up in A tier. I feel like she should actually belong in B tier, though. She's got protection gauge on turn 3. She's got a really strong single target ult, but that doesn't help anybody. It has no ult. This feels bad. I feel bad for doing this, but she is just heavily locked. And I don't think there's an argument against that. There are a lot of Octagram Demon Lords. I don't know if you could tell, but we got 20 skill fusions, and literally all of them are Octagram Demon Lords. So it's not hard to build a team. We'll move her back up in A tier. Okay. I talked myself out of it. Okay. So there we go. There is the tier list for October of 2024. The highest priority unit was the new Awakened Isis. She is, I think, far and away the best character to come out of this entire batch. Benimaru is solid. Milim is good on specific team. Shinsha, I think, is also good for other reasons on a specific team. But, let me know what you guys think of these new placements. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that I should move Isis up into Triple S? Let me know in the comments below. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.